Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. That's right, get either the Essential, Plus or Premium plans absolutely free, and all you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Black Bull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Hey, if you like futures because of the tight spreads and clear setups, go check out Blue Guardian Futures. They let you start trading futures with up to $450k in funding. The best part, you keep 100% of your first 15k in profits, then 90% after that. No activation fees, weekly payouts, and they're sponsoring Chris Eubank Jr. and Birmingham City FC. Go take a look at blueguardianfutures.com or click the link in the description.
What's going on, guys? This is Brinks Trades coming to you live with another week of breakdowns. Hope everybody had a great trade trading week. I'll bring my computer over here so you guys can see me better. Hope everybody had a great trading week and is having a great weekend. So it's obviously first week of May in Michigan. Everything is starting to warm up and people are being outside again. So it's like we're coming back to life here. So hope everybody's doing good. So love to see again where people are calling in from. If you guys are watching from anywhere around the country or anywhere around the world, feel free to drop it in the box. But again, my name is Brinks Trades. I am a day trader with a decade of experience. I started trading back in 2015, and I'm the resident indices analyst for the Trading Nut podcast. Every week I come on here and break down charts for y'all. And really just talk about everything in the indices space, whether that's the three main indices, really some of the majors, right? So our euros, our pounds, our golds, right? And so again, that's basically what you could expect out of this channel if this is your first time being here. But what I want to do is, again, while people are dropping in the comment section, I love to see where people are calling in from around the world. I think it's really cool that we have a global platform here that allows us to really come on and really talk to people around the world, get trading advice and trading ideas. And I always say that, when I first started this journey, there wasn't a lot of resources for people online in the trading space. And so one of those resources was really just the stories and the interviews that I would hear on the Trading Nut podcast. Was really cool that I can come on now and be really part of what's going on here. So shout out to Cam for letting me come on. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to go ahead and get into some of these charts for the week. Hopefully we're not going to be on here too long. I think this will be a pretty quick, pretty direct week. There's some cool things that are going to be happening. I had a pretty good trading week last week. My students know, and I made this publicly announced that I am taking a account challenge where and not a prop firm challenge, but actually a personal growth account challenge where I'm taking $10,000, and by the end of the year, want to see what I'm able to turn that into. Everything is verified. Everything is, it's with a verified broker. And I'm a few thousand up on it right now. I started it about a month ago. So in that month, the return has already been, pretty good, but really looking to see what I can do with that this year and show and document this guy for you guys for the entire year. Again, I'm really big into transparency, so I love the idea of this space kind of becoming demystified, right? And you see a lot of gurus, you see a lot of people that are just riding around in Lamborghinis, and you think they're rich because of this, but they're really making money because of something else, or they're not, not really traders per se, but they're just kind of selling you a dream, selling you a lifestyle. And so I want to be the opposite of that, right? I want to create a community and a platform where people can come on here and every day, every week, get authentic, real-time trading advice, trading, education, all that type of stuff, right? So yeah, I want to show people that this is actually a job that you actually have, and it's not just a pipe dream to want to be a trader. So again, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to go ahead and get into the charts here. Let me go ahead and share, present, pull up Trading View. Actually, I'm going to pause this real quick because I don't know if I'm logged in on my account still. From this past week, I caught a couple good trades. Again, I'm kind of, because I'm taking this on a forex broker right now, I'm kind of confining myself to really just currency pairs, and it's currency pairs that are uh, on a US broker. So I have to kind of stick with, I can't really trade NASDAQ on that account or anything like that. So a little bit more limited, but again, I want to show people what's possible with trading. So let's go ahead and share the screen again. Present, share screen. Let's go there. And we're going to start with dollar, right? So let's look at dollar analysis. And I know usually I'm a little bit later than I am usually on, so I know I probably will not have my usual crew on here, people that are commenting. But yeah, if at any given time you guys have questions, feel free to drop in and let's talk about them. So let's start with dollar index, right? So there's a couple of things that we wanted to see happen. We called this out last Saturday. Again, I don't delete any of these lives, so you guys can see them any given time throughout the week. But there was a couple of things that I wanted to see play out in dollar last week. So I'm still holding a bearish bias here, right? I'm holding a bearish bias on this dollar because, again, thinking about where we're at in the grand scheme of things, this right here, again, you might call this consolidation, manipulation, distribution. You can call this running up and forming a double top. However you want to look at this and call this a market, because I know there's a lot of people on here that trade with a bunch of different styles. But the idea is here that the market is really bearish, right? We are bearish. We're trying to go down, and we don't really want to bet against that. So the last 3 weeks or so, we've had, bullish momentum in the market, but that doesn't necessarily signal that the overall trend is changing. And so last week, coming into the week, I wanted to see the market really come up, trade back into this little fair value gap zone here from 100.95 and going all the way down to 110. And so once we hit that, once we traded back into that, I wanted to, we had the opposite play, right? Which was that low, and I called this out again last week on the videos at 97.69 on dollar, and we traded away from that for the rest of the week. So I think Monday and Tuesday were bearish. Tuesday set the low for the week, and then we really traded away from that for the rest of the week. So what am I looking for here? So again, this is kind of a tricky situation to be in, especially since we closed the week. We closed the week underneath. We took out the area, the target that we wanted to see. We have this huge wick away from this. So what I'll be looking for to see is if the market can break down again in here and continue to go lower. But if we start to invert old gaps like this daily red civvy, which is from this low to this high, start to invert that might signal that the market is really ready to continue to go back up. And the reason for that is we swept a few levels of liquidity there and came back down to this level right here, which should be a little higher like that. So we came back down there and swept that. And so ideally, again, I'm looking for the market to give us some bearishness to continue to go short. But again, just keeping all this in mind means I'm going to be very cautious. So if we invert this gap, this will kind of be my fail safe for this market. So if that happens, we could probably go higher. Sorry, guys. I don't know what it is. I'm tired today, man. So ideally, that's what I'll be looking for on dollar. When we talk about euro, I'm going to go to euro really quickly. So I'm looking at Euro USD. Again, this is the currency version of 6E, which is the futures. Same idea. There's a couple things that happen. And so I called this out in my chat, in my Discord community this past week. And I said I wanted to see the market really drop into this old weekly fair value gap here and then find a reason to continue to go higher, right? That's the reason I want to see, smaller time frame breaks of structure. And when I say smaller time frame, I mean like the 4 hour, the 1 hour, right? Like in comparison to the daily and weekly, those are smaller. So there's a few things that I saw and I said, okay, cool. Once we take that level trade into this gap here, I want to see the market really start to break structure and go against us and go against this trend that it's been on for the past few weeks. But really what we're seeing here is the market doing a few things. The market came back down into this weekly fair value gap, tested consequent encroachment of that, took out the low of yesterday, and then traded away from it. So we could see a continued trend. And I honestly won't feel comfortable taking this trade, any trades long, until we get, oops. Let's get rid of this for now. Until we hard time want to see the market really give us something here that means it could continue to go up. And a lot of times what you'll see is when you start seeing these short choppy markets like this, it means the market on the higher time frame is not really trying to go with the trend that it's showing you. So I still am very much bullish. I want to see the market really go higher. I could see the market try to get into this fair value gap right here. We'll see if I'm trying to continue to short anything. I'm really looking for the reversal. And if we do get a clean reversal here, then maybe I'll look to go long, for at some point. But ideally, this is a bullish trend overall, right? We're still very much in a higher uptrend, but we're getting some pullbacks back to key levels. And so if we look at this in the weekly time frame, same idea, right? The weekly is actually a little bit more telling because we traded into a weekly fair value gap here, and the market is pretty much retracing away from that and ready to go higher. So really, this is what I want to see in euro next week going into the markets open. I want to see, let's maybe spend a day or so trading back into this range, and the rest of the week trading away from that. Let's look at pound and pound futures specifically. A couple levels that are drawn out here. So again, we were waking off of this high. We hit it once, hit it twice, and then started to fall over. Pull this up right here. So looking at this daily imbalance here, again, I would like the market to find reasons to continue to go higher. Now we do have kind of like a head shoulders pattern on the 4-hour time frame. I have no idea why I'm yawning this much today, so I'm sorry, y'all. We do kind of have like a head and shoulders pattern. We ran up here, took this high, and then came back and formed another kind of like leg almost. So the market's really trading away from that. I need to see a clean break in structure for us to continue to want to go up higher, and I don't see that here. So there's not really anything that I want to see. I just want more information from GBP USD before I can make a decision on what I want to see. But ideally, if we are bearish on the dollar, then we should be bullish on this. So if I'm going to go long, I want to see some type of break of structure over a 4-hour level. Something like that level there. Got some comments, so let me hop in this box here. So again, good afternoon, Coach. It's Tony. What's up, Tony? What's going on? Tony is a student in the mentorship group, man, and watching him grow over the past few months has been awesome. He's passing challenges. He's getting paid. So it's really cool. So then the next thing is, let's look at gold, for instance. Let's look at gold. This is not gold. This is gold, yeah. Okay, so ideally, we're looking at gold futures. Again, it's the same thing as XAD USD. Just reflects the futures version of gold, which is, again, important. So what I'm doing is looking at this daily and weekly time frame. Again, I wanted to see the market trade back into this fair value gap. I thought we could run a little lower into something a little bit more in a discount range. So I was thinking this fair value gap here, but we didn't end up ultimately getting that. And so we had a Monday and Tuesday where we shot up very high volatility wise, which is cool. So what am I looking for the rest of the week? Well, I'm still very much in alignment with this overall idea that the market's going to go up. So what I'll be looking for again on the 4-hour and daily time frames is the fact that uh, the market could break some level of structure for us to go higher. Levels that I'm looking at for immediately are this level right here, or this 4-hour level right here. Um, so ideally what I want to see is once we get over these highs, I'm bullish. I'm just going to make a note that says bullish over these highs. Yeah. Tony says, oh, what you might rip next week. I think you're talking about gold. But yeah, I think gold could definitely take off and go higher next week. But in alignment with everything else, again, those are my levels that I'm watching for in case we do go long. But really, there's nothing here. Honestly, there's nothing here that will cause me to not think about it. But I could definitely see this breaking structure too. So my I guess fail safe level will be like this low right there. So if we take out this low here, then we're probably not going bullish. But if we do respect the zone, this fair value gap that we're sitting at, and we just trade up higher, then I think it will continue to run higher. Man, I'm sorry. I gotta wake up, y'all. I'm sorry. This is probably the sleepiest I've ever been. I ran 5 miles this morning, and I'm trying to like stay awake. So either way, when you get used to trading, it becomes so routine, right? It's not. It's like it'll put you to sleep. All right, so let's look at Nasdaq. Let's look at Nasdaq really quickly. So what's going on with Nasdaq? So the thing about Nasdaq right now is the market is very. I mean, if you look at this right here, you can definitely see what's going on. We're bullish, right? See that huge wick. We're trading into an old imbalance there, old fair value gap. So ideally, I want to see that invert. But this right here is letting me know that we cleared liquidity out. We traded into a few order blocks, respected them, and things like that. So ideally, I want to see the market continue to go up. Now the question is to where and how. And the level that I want to see the market hit. And if it takes it out, awesome, cool. If it doesn't, then that's our target. So we did. Here's the couple things though that I am noticing on Nasdaq is that we did sweep these highs and we traded back into the range. So let me jump to another 4-hour time frame just to get a better understanding of what price is doing. And this is just consolidation. So ideally, let me jump back up to the daily because I don't want to get caught up in consolidation. So I think what I want to see here is the market continue to rise up. Bro, you see me? Hey, this white said feeling sleepy. I'm feeling sleepy as heck right now, man. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, so anyway, what I'm trying not to do is fall asleep completely on this Zoom. So but I'm dead. I'm so tired. So I'm taking a nap after this is over. So I apologize for the delay, like in everything. But let's see. So ideally, what I want to see here is the market take out this high, right? This old buy side liquidity at this high. But what I'm watching for in the 4-hour time frame is the how we react to this range. So we're consolidating. So I'm going to get rid of all this stuff that you guys see in the charts. So you can kind of see what's going on. But we're in this consolidation zone on NASDAQ right now. And so the thing that I'm kind of nervous about is us. It's kind of hard to tell when you're in consolidation where the market's going to go next, right? we do have a higher time frame premise. We do think this market's going to go higher based on the pretty much uptrend that we're sitting in. We are also sitting in this fair value gap. So I guess what I'll say is this is going to be my weekly target because we can't really count out bullishness until we see some type of break of structure on the daily time frame or some type of thing that really says we need to stop looking for higher prices. So what I'm going to say is this: is I want to see the market get over this high before I continue to go long. I'm not going to short anything here until this low is taken out. Let me get rid of some of this stuff so you guys can see a little bit better. What did he say? Tony says, Coach, I had a good night, a playoff season. Yeah, exactly. No, that's really what it is, man. I'm staying up watching these playoff games. So just, you got this, bro. Just a little more to go. I'm crying. Not y'all cheering me on to stay awake on my own live stream. That's crazy. Anyway, so let me pull it together and go for y'all and go and get it together for y'all. So but there's a nap tick coming after this, I'm sure. So anyway, so the thing we're sitting here is because we're looking at this fair value gap here, this CIVI. I want to see if the market can respect this this area here, and if it does, I'll be looking for a break structure for us to take out this low here at 19,684. So I'm not really looking to do anything in between this gap on the higher time frame bias. But what I will be doing, and this is something that I tell my students all the time, right, especially when we're dealing with these weird market conditions, is that I'm really looking, I'm paying attention to the daily bias, right? And I'm paying attention to where I think the market's going to go, but I'm more paying attention to what the market is doing intraday, right? How are we coming out of our Asian session, our London session, New York session, right? And so these are intraday things that obviously I can't predict ahead of time on the weekends. But right now I'm paying more attention to how we're experiencing power three on the daily, right? Versus the weekly bias, right? And this is kind of an adjustment that I know a lot of traders are like, well, if I just know what the weekly bias is, then I should be able to be good for the week. But in times like this, again, it's a little bit more difficult to stick with the daily bias. But you can see pretty much since the beginning of April when we had the tweets about the tariff situation, we've been on an uptrend. So I really would like the market to see us continue to go here, but I will be looking for buys over this zone here, right? And so what I would like to see is this market become an inverted fair value gap, right? From us going from 20,289 higher. And so if we break above this area, then I'm looking for just a retest of this inverted fair value gap or future for inverted fair value gap for us to go higher, right? And that's kind of like, again, that's going to be my primary bias coming into this week. I've lost a lot of money trying to short the highs when the market wasn't really ready to go down. So what I would like to see is this, right? I'd like to see us break through this, find some way, and then retest. If we take out these lows here and we find ourselves trading down here and with a very clean break of structure, then I'm going to be looking to short. But ideally, again, I hate the type of traders where they're like, if it goes up, I'll buy. If it goes down, I'll sell. It's like, duh. Of course, if it goes up, you're gonna buy, or if it goes down, you're gonna sell. So I hate when traders come up against an area like this and they say that stuff because it's so obvious, right? Like you're either gonna buy or you're gonna sell. So I usually try to have one bias that I'm sticking to and a plan if that doesn't work. And so I'm gonna stick to my bullish bias. I would like to see this run through here and go higher. If in the event it comes down here and takes out our low here at 19,681, then I'll be looking to short. But as of now, there's no trade for me until we either take this high out or obviously go lower here. And so again, in these situations every day, when you don't really have a great on the actual 15-minute time frame, come down to your daily stuff, your daily setups, and look at your power three, right? And look at your your actual, what can you frame out for a short-term trade setup on those small time frames, which is what I'm paying more attention to now in this time. So let me get to S&P. Let me stay awake. Let me hit these comment sections. Y'all are cracking me up. All right, so Monsieur Chara says, can you please check the US 100? So I'll look at US 100. Usually what happens is usually what happens here is the US 100 is very, very similar to the what's going on the NQ. It's the same thing, really. NASDAQ and NQ. NASDAQ, if you ever see NQ or MNQ or NASDAQ or US 100, you might even see like text, all the same. Sometimes the price levels are slightly different. So this is US 100, which is the same thing as NAS 100, right? It's all the same. That's why I have these all like kind of in the same spot. So it's pretty much the same idea, right? I want to see the market get over that daily inverted fair value gap. If we reject off of it, then I'm going to look. So White says, may I ask what instruments y'all are currently trading? So really the main ones that I look at on a week in and week out basis are going to be NASDAQ, Euro, and GBP, right? And those are the three that I stick to each week. And if there's a play, kind of like I look at it in a bunch of different ways, I guess. But I look at correlated markets, right? So I look at the correlated markets. So what markets are supposed to be correlated? So Euro, GBP, they're supposed to move in the same direction, right? I'm always kind of keeping that in line with my dollar analysis. So I want to see what my dollar analysis is doing before I make a decision on what I'm trading that day. So again, so if my bias for the week is that I want to see dollar go higher, right? And dollar's going higher, but euro's not going lower like it should be, right? Then maybe that makes me shift my bias to GBP, and I'm focusing on GBP. So I talk to my students about this all the time, that like you want to make sure that these intermarket relationships are still being maintained. And so that's kind of like I have a checklist of things that I go through with my students each week that makes that really kind of answers some of those questions. So, but yeah, for the most part, it's Euro, GBP, and NASDAQ are the three that I look at. And I think I found my second win. I think I'm finally fully awake now. So I apologize, y'all. $10 for anybody that has a clip of me falling asleep on the live. So I apologize in advance. Let's see. Looking at the questions here. Let's look at yes. And then if you guys also have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But it's been a long week for me, man. That's how life is starting to get to me. A good week, but a successful week. Let me go ahead and pull up ES. ES is probably going to be the same thing, right? So correlated markets, again, all of our indices are going to be correlated. So ideally, I was on a stream on Friday with my students, and again, one of the benefits of being part of the community when I'm actually awake, right, during market hours, is I go live with my students at least 2 or 3 times a week, and sometimes it's a full session, sometimes it's just a very quick, like, let's check the markets together, let's see what's going on. And usually those days are going to be the days that I'm not really trading, or the market's not moving as much, or they're going to be the days where there's just no action, right? And so or we're going to have a situation where we're going to take trades, and on those days you just stay on the trade live or call things out, right, and kind of show people my thought process and where we're at. And so last week I ended up calling a trade on NASDAQ on Friday, not even last week, yesterday, right? We came out and took out the highs and then traded to the low today, right? And so again, these markets going to be very, very correlated because I called that on NASDAQ, but ES is pretty much the same thing, right? So again, in a normal world, your pairs should be moving together, right? They should be moving. Your correlated assets should always be moving in the same way. So I know without doing the bias on ES that the market is going to want to run a little bit higher, right? And it's the same idea here, except here we have something a little different, right? So this is my long-term target, but I'm looking at consequent encroachment of this wick, right? And I'm seeing how the market is really struggling to get through here, right? And so this is something that a trick that I call to my students all the time. The idea here is that the market works in 50% ranges. So wicks, order blocks, candles, etc. 50% ranges, right? I subscribe to the idea that this market is an algorithm. It is pumping price regardless of who's buying or who's selling, right? It's moving prices at levels on purpose. It makes stuff is kind of controlled. That's why millions all have millions and millions of minds, and also the market millions of different ways are doing things, and the markets are giving you these same patterns and these same things playing out over and over again, right? It's all controlled. So ideally, consequent encroachment of this wick, again, is pretty much my version of that fair value gap, right? I want to see the market get over this consequent encroachment and trade higher. So this level's at 5,725. So I need to see, I'm going to just put a note here that says bullish if violated, right? And so again, I would like to see the market still run higher because we are still in an uptrend. So my first initial thought here is bullishness, because I don't want to start shorting a trend just because the market hits a level of in this case, resistance, right? Or a level that we think the market should hit for buy side, right? So I need to see a lot of bearish sentiment. I need to see lows taken out. I need to see breaks of structure on the daily time frame before I really start looking for long-term bullishness. Now you might see bearishness, right, on the smaller time frames, short-term setup, 1 minute, 3 minute, whatever. But I like to trade in line with the trend. My students know me really well, right? And they know that I personally don't trade counter trend setups. So I'm only looking at stuff that lines up with the higher time frame picture. But in this case, again, I want to see the market get over this level, right? I'm bullish. Gun to my head, I want to see the market continue to go higher, right? Never short the top, never buy the bottom, right? You want confirmations. So ideally, this is what I want to see. So again, if we do manage to take out this low here, I'm gonna get rid of this so we can see this a little better. If we take out this low here, this is kind of like my invalidation level. And I think every trader, your ideas are gonna fail, right? Like I'm not a magician, right, with a crystal ball that can see the future and I win every single time, right? There's plenty of times where my ideas fail. And I think you need to have levels marked off so you're not consistently chasing I'd still see bullishness. I need to keep buying, right? So you need to have, every idea needs to have an invalidation level, right? 3 levels. It needs to have a pullback level, a target level, and then an invalidation level, which is almost like a kind of like a stop loss, a mental stop loss, where you're saying, like, if it takes out this level, my idea is no longer good. And in this case, this violation level is 5,096, right? So if it takes out that, it's obviously a break in market structure, and I don't think we'll go any higher. So I'm looking at structure, I'm looking at liquidity, I'm looking at a lot of different things, right? Yeah, y'all, I'm awake now. We good. We are good. Let's see. So let's look at YM really quickly. And then I'll open up for questions. And then if no questions, I'll call it a day. So YM is Dow Jones, it's the US30. Again, if you're new here, I trade both markets. I trade Forex, I trade futures, right? I take a lot of trades on the Forex markets. The challenge that I'm taking right now, where I'm taking 10K of my own personal money and growing that's all Forex, right? And I'm doing it just to show people that, again, Forex isn't dead, right? You can trade that market and still be okay. I also have a lot of prop firm challenges and accounts that I'm building on the future side. So I'm doing both, right? I trade both markets. Usually you run into this argument where people are like, you need to pick Forex, you need to pick futures. And I'm like, it's just all the same, man. Like it's all chart action, it's all price action. As long as you know how to hit buy and sell and you can analyze your charts, then that's all that matters. So when we look at the daily time frame here on YM, this is the same situation, man. It's the same situation. We're bullish. Again, I don't want to. We are sitting in the middle of a huge fair value gap. And again, I'm gonna scooch my fair value gap up like this. So we're trading over consequent encroachment. This is actually a good sign, even though the market tried to run up into this volume imbalance here. And again, my students probably know this. I think I've said this before, but whenever there's a volume imbalance kind of overlapping the fair value gap, I tend to just drag and drop that fair value gap. So it includes that. But this is a volume imbalance up here. We saw the market trade into this and then really get a strong rejection. But we're still staying over consequent encroachment. So ideally, I want to see this market get above consequent encroachment. I want to see this market get higher. I don't want to buy anything in this until that happens, though. You can see if we jump down to the 4-hour time frame, this is those details that I talk about with my students all the time. See how the wicks are coming off of consequent encroachment, this 50% level. We're seeing a ton of away from this level. So ideally, what I would like to see is the market respect this and then continue to go higher. If that's my gun to my head, like answer, like if you can only pick one, again, you don't really ever want to bet against bullishness while the market's running up. If you think the market's going to turn around, wait for bearish signatures, right? Wait for the breaks in structure before you start doing something else. Now, again, same thing as last one. This is my invalidation. And again, having this on my chart just helps me understand where I think the market's at, where I think my idea might fail if it does fail, and not getting caught up in trying to chase a bullish idea, even though the market is starting to run bearish, right? So this is a validation level on YM. Again, this is the same thing as US30 for the international people. Same idea, just looks a little different. But YM, my invalidation level is going to be, there it goes, 40,767. So that's the level that I'm going to be watching for, to really see how the market reacts to that level there. And so if that gets taken out, then I'm most likely going to transition more to a bearish bias. We traded into this fair value gap, we rejected it, right? We broke structure, then I'm going to be looking for bearishness. So again, those kind of my thoughts in the market. I'm going to look at gold really quickly. Let me see if there's any other questions. Tien, is it Tien? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, so I apologize. Do you think gold will hit 20, or do you think NASDAQ, sorry, will hit 20,500? So let me go back to NASDAQ. Yeah, actually, that's what I would like to see, right? Again, it's the same idea here. Like I was talking about with like those invalidation levels. This is my target for the week, right? I would like to see the market get up there. We're having some resistance off of this fair value gap here. So again, I'm not gonna buy anything until the market gives me bullish confirmation over 20,297, just based on this time frame. And this, if there's on the smaller time for 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is clear based on kind of like intraday stuff that we'll see. We obviously can't see until Monday. Then yeah, then I might take that. But for the most part, I'm staying away from this until we get more confirmation. I'm not really in a rush to take any trades. Again, when you hit levels, you got to let the market sort itself out. You got to see what's going to be next, right? And these are the times where you're going to step away from the charts. You're going to say, okay, cool, my goal was hit, was achieved. How do we, like, what's the next level that we're going to hit? So I'm looking at 20,500, but I need to see this fair value gap get inverted like this. Maybe it gets retested, maybe it doesn't, but something like this would be the ideal scenario. Very similar to like a break and retest idea. So that's what I'm looking for in NASDAQ. Again, I'm gonna look at gold real quick for you. Oh, actually, I already looked at gold. I'm tripping. I think I'm sleep. I did not broke it down while I was sleeping. About questions that you got. At that point, then he says Tien says then 27,000. I I don't want to project that far ahead. So the way that I do my analysis is that I have one target, one goal for the week. And if that gets hit early, then I'm usually done for the week. Or if it's very clear, then I might look at the next level, right? But for the most part, I'm looking at 9,700. If it takes out that high, 1,700 is not unfeasible, right? I think that's the kind of your next level that you'd look at, right? Those relative equal highs that are sitting right there. So I think that's the best level that you could, the next level you could see. But again, I don't like to over project what I think is going to happen. And really, when I do my bias, I like to really just kind of focus on the next 5 days of price action, right? I like to think about that, just that, and I try not to over project because if I'm thinking about long term, I think the market's going to get up here. Well, we got a long way between this level and that level, so there's a lot of you start thinking about this, you stop focusing on what's actually happening in front of you, and so you want to trade what you see, and you don't want to try and over project. And so I think about my whole idea of picking a bias is like, what do I think is going to happen in the next 5 days of price action between this call we're having right now and the next call, right? And that's basically what I'm seeing here. So again, so that's all the stuff that I really have for you guys. What I want to do here is I want to do a couple things. So I want to drop a link to the profit playbook, which is my community that I break down more charts. It actually has two versions of the community. So there's a free side where there's a lot of chats. I'm pretty active in that chat. I drop a lot of advice and just kind of general trading stuff. And then the actual profit playbook mentorship, which is basically my community where I work with students one-on-one. I teach them everything I know about my strategy. I give them, tips about where I think it's happening. I trade live with them. They get access to my WAP and Discord, and can pretty get, for the WAP site where I have all of my, or is it Whoop or WAP? I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a site where I have all my videos and everything with the course. And I work with one-on-one with them on Sundays, where there's a Sunday call that I basically take the week in review. We talk about some of the trades that I've taken. We talk about some of the things that they did and really kind of help identify the good things, the bad things, and then really just hope to improve their skills as a trader for the next week. So I'm going to drop a link to that right now, but at least the free community, I think everybody should be a part of. So again, if this is your first time seeing this, you definitely should join the free community. If you have a Discord, it's really all it takes. But there's a lot of good value that I just throw in there. I mean, yesterday we were talking about risk management and how to really handle tilt that happens in the market. And really, there's times where people just blow our accounts because they're doing something stupid. I think every trader, I have not met a trader yet that has never blown an account doing something stupid, right? Or rushing trades, or like it could be an account challenge. It could be your actual personal account, but I've never met a trader that has never blown an account at some point in their career. So I think that it really will help you guys, just being in a community of traders, and obviously people that I'm a normal guy, just like everybody else is, even though, over the past few weeks, past few months, past few years, I've been almost 2 or 3 years now that I've been doing this. I've held like an 80% kind of like prediction rate over the last, 2 years, about where I think the markets are going to go on the weekly. Obviously, I'm not shooting 80% from the actual trades. It's more of like a 60 something percent over the past couple of years. But being in a community about the traders and really getting the opportunity to kind of ask questions and not feeling like you're doing this all by yourself. So again, check that out. Again, it doesn't take anything, but a couple clicks, and I'll stay on for any questions that you guys have. Other than that, y'all can tell I'm tired, so I'm gonna end this and go take a nap after this is over. But I'm good for any questions. If you guys have a few minutes, or if you have anything that you're struggling with trading from perspective, on a risk management perspective, I'm open, right? I think again, if you When I was coming along, if I got the opportunity to like pick the mind of a trader that's been around for the last decade, I think I would definitely would take advantage of that. So yeah, I'll stand out for any questions that you guys have. Earlier, but I was almost knocked out. All right, y'all. I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this. But if you guys have any questions at all, follow me at brinkstrades.com. And yeah, follow me there. All right, peace, guys. Have a good weekend. Get some sleep.
Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. That's right, get either the Essential, Plus or Premium plans absolutely free, and all you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Black Bull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Hey, if you like futures because of the tight spreads and clear setups, go check out Blue Guardian Futures. They let you start trading futures with up to $450k in funding. The best part, you keep 100% of your first 15k in profits, then 90% after that. No activation fees, weekly payouts, and they're sponsoring Chris Eubank Jr. and Birmingham City FC. Go take a look at blueguardianfutures.com or click the link in the description.